The other couple of issues that William mentioned there that doesn't really speak to him was gender ideology, and I know you were questioned on that on Radio 5 Live yesterday. You were asked the question, how many genders are there? And there's been quite a bit of comment as to the hesitation that you had in answering that. I don't know if you're kind of clearer on it now.
Well, there's there are various people take various views about the number of genders that there are, but for me, Parliament passed the gender recognition legislation. The United Kingdom government decided to challenge that, to use their powers to challenge that. It was addressed by the courts, and the courts viewed that the UK government was entitled to do what it did. So your answer is what? Well, I gave the answer yesterday that there were two genders, but I recognise there are people that take a different view to that. Right, but in your view, there are two genders? Yeah.
Okay. Lynn has asked, will you and your party support single-sex services and sports for women and girls?
Well, on the question of single-sex spaces, all the provision for that is provided within the equality legislation of 2010, and I want to make sure that the appropriate provisions are put in place to do so.
Okay. Some people might not be familiar with that legislation. I mean, it's a pretty straight question from Lynn. Will you and your party support single-sex services and sports for women and girls?
I think, well, the sporting issue, I think, is an issue for the sporting bodies. I don't think government legislates.
So you don't have a view on that?
Well, I don't. I think it's for the sporting bodies to discuss that, and I don't think I should be lecturing the sporting bodies about their regulation. But in relation to the safety of women and girls, which is the responsibility of government, the legislation is very clear that single-sex spaces are permissible to enable the protection of women and girls to be applied, and I want to make sure there's no doubt or dubiety about that question.
Permissible. There is dubiety in that word, permissible. Permissible or enforceable or mandatory. Where are we?
Well, enforceable. Enforceable is absolutely, right. Sorry if forgive me if my language is not absolutely correct on that, but enforceable is certainly my view, because that's the law, and it's the law in the Equality Act.
Thank you for that clarity.